welcome to episode 2 of the camper conversion on the Renault Master. So first thing you want to do is you're going to want to clean the van from top to bottom. You don't want to be doing it after you're fitting materials. If you're sticking stuff down, the water might get underneath. You don't want water trapped anywhere in the van because it's going to start to rust. Also, if it's on wood, it's going to stain there. So clean it all down now. We just use soapy water on the walls. On the floor we jet washed it because it was real filthy. It did have ply down, we took that up and underneath, so it's just filth underneath it, some grease and stuff like that. So after we jet washed it, we used a degreaser and then we dried it all up and got it ready for the sound deadening. So the sound deadening would be the first thing you want to do. You can start by fitting windows and stuff like that because there's no point in sound deadening panels, square windows, roof vents, but we're going to start with sound deadening and we're doing the floor. After we've done the sound deadening, we're going to do the insulation and the deck, and then we'll start on the walls, solar panels and whatever else we need. So the product we're using is a 2mm butyl sound deadening mat. So we've gone 2mm because we don't want to put too much weight in here. We are using two different products. So we're going to be using a non-branded roll because it's cheaper. It's the same as a silent coat, which is a lot more expensive. The silent coat comes in small mats, which are about 40 centimeters by 25 centimeters, which would be a pain in the ass to do the whole floor. We want to cover the whole floor as well because this is going to double up as a moisture barrier. So we don't want any holes or anything like that, any gaps where moisture can get in sit. If it does, we don't want no moisture in the van at all. So the tools you're going to need, just a pair of gloves and a standing oak, but use a standing 99E, which is one of the original models. They're just metal, they're just simple. Yeah, I'll explain why we use this one later. Before you lay in the mat, once it's clean, just before you're doing it, use isopropyl alcohol. Obviously sweep it down, even after you cleaned it, maybe you leave it a day, you dry it up, it's going to get dusty, it's going to get stuff in it. So just sweep it down, and then before you lay the mat, isopropyl alcohol. Just put it on neat onto a cloth and just wipe the floor down. That's all you got to do. Pretty easy. This part of the job is pretty easy. It's a bit time consuming with cleaning and everything like that, but it is very easy. After your floor is cleaned and prepped to use the isopropyl alcohol, which is quite important because this is going to remove any residue and ensure that your matting adheres properly to the subfloor. You're going to want to roll your mat out, and I roll it up the walls a bit because when you start to fold it into these grooves, the mat's going to get shorter. So if you cut it exactly, then you're going to find you're going to have a gap. Next, you want to cut off this little bit here, this bit of paper. This means you can just line it up with that properly. Now, if you're good with your hands, you'll be able to get this joint good without overlapping it. We don't really want to overlap it because we are trying to keep the weight down as much as possible, and we're going to get lips then as well. So you can get them flush and next to each other, that would be the best finish, but you can't overlap it. Just sort of cut it off like that. Once you've completely laid it, then you can cut it off. It cuts real easy with just a standy blade. So yeah, it's a pretty easy job. Basically, when you're ready to go, what you're going to do is lay it out in line and kneel on it. This is going to hold it in place. Because when you start to stick it, you don't want it to run at an angle because it's just going to cause you all sorts of nightmares. It's best to not start from the edge and try and roll it again because you've got roughly 2 meters there. So if it's out a tiny bit over 2 meters, it's going to run out 10 millimeters, a centimeter or something like that. The best way I find to do it. And I actually used to engrave headstones and fit headstones. We had a similar technique, which was sticking on a rubber sort of sheet which had all lettering cut out, and then we pick the letters out and then sandblast it, and it would only blast the stone. So you want to cut a section out of the middle of this pretty much. So I'll just break a little gap underneath there so I can get that, because we don't want to cut into the mat. By doing that, then we can just concentrate on that little area and the rest of the mat's not going to stick to itself and get stuck in the wrong place. And then we can roll it back out. Okay, so I adjusted the camera a bit. It wasn't a great angle, so I've stuck this bit. I don't really like the video, so I've just cut it. And then I'm going to show you how to stick it down with the next bit. So it's all the same technique from the middle out. This time I don't really need to nail on it. I've already stuck one section. What we're going to do, peel it back, bring it back a bit. Now if you've got someone to help you, they can just hold it up like that, but I don't, I'm on my own at the moment. So we're going to lay that back out, taking note of the line, just try and keep that in line. It might run out because some of these shapes aren't exactly the same. It's going to start to distort this. This is what we want the gloves for, because you're going to rub your fingers into the grooves. And you don't want to get friction burn. So rub it in there, try and feel, make sure you're not getting any bubbles. When it gets shorter, it's a lot easier because you can hold it in one hand. And then, yeah, just press it into these grooves like that, just sort of starting at one groove, moving to the next and slowly going along. Don't try and start that way and work back because you're going to get bubbles. So, like so. Right, so it's pretty easy, you know, I could use a roller on that bit, it's wider, and these bits, a lot of it's small so we can't get a roller in there. But the reason I said about the Stanley 99E also was because this end is not solid metal, and it fits into here powerfully, and then you can just push it in like that and it just gets rid of all them voids. We don't want any voids because we don't want any water build up. We all know what happens with metal or mortar. Actually, mortar is a solvent and it will dissolve anything over time, but metal and timber very quickly. So yeah, let's just do that to get all that air out. Some bits, like here, it might rip the foil, it's not a problem. The butyl will stretch, but we just want to get the air bubbles out, that's the most important bit. So yeah, that's really everything you need to know to lay this stuff, and this is my technique of doing it, and it works pretty well, and I'm happy with how it's turned out so far. This is job completed. So my next job would be to put some upstands up like this, and do the arches before I put the floor down. But I've got all these panels on the wall and I haven't taken them off yet because they're just going to get in the way. So I thought I'd just get the floor done for now, and I'm happy with the outcome. If you found this video helpful, like and subscribe, and stay tuned. I'll be bringing out more videos on a step-by-step guide on how to convert a camper van, and I'll be keeping my videos short and sweet, to the point, so you can get the information you need without having to watch hours of pointless content.